White people are allowed Wi-Fi.
And her dad went all the way to Australia.
This is going to be the most exciting night of my life.
My name is Jay Lafferty and I am delighted to have been asked to read from the book Space Interianation, the book of super science stories by the P7 class at Trinity Primary. This story is called Amy's Revenge and it's by Anna Kay. There once was a little girl called Amy. She always dreamed of going to space and blowing everything up. Boom, crash. Amy was playing with her toys, planning her trip to space, but when she told this to her family, they said that she was stupid and she would never be able to get there. That's how Amy's hatred for her family grew. She especially hated her brother Harry and sister Molly. She decided that if she wanted to go into space, she would have to do it herself, with no help at all. She gathered tons of things to make her spaceship. She spent all day and night. She never stopped doing it and she was never at home. Her mum and dad started to get worried about her. When Amy had finished her spaceship, it looked dreadful. She tried to fly it, but it didn't even get off the ground. She was so mad. Then Amy decided to go to NASA and steal one of their spaceships to get to space. When she got to NASA, she went to the spaceship launch pad area. It was so cool. There were tons of them, but also guards. It would be easy for her to get past them because she was only 1.5 and very small. She crawled in and no one noticed her. She got to the biggest spaceship and jumped in. It was all ready to go. It had enough food and drinks for a long journey to space. She got into the driver's seat. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift off. It was so exciting. There was fire at the bottom. All the security guards were shouting and running and trying to help, but it was too late. They managed to get a photo of her and sent it out asking who are the mum and dad of this baby. The boss came down to see what all the shouting and running around was. He saw that the best spaceship was gone. He was so annoyed about it and decided to fire all the security guards that were working at the time. Meanwhile, Amy was having the time of her life. She was going to blow up everything and all her family, especially her sister and brother, were going to regret saying it was such a stupid idea. She was going to find the thing that would blow up Earth and she was going to threaten everyone. It would be the best day of her life. All her dreams would come true. Something in the radio was contacting her. It was from another spaceship that aliens were on. They said that the thing to blow up Earth was on the planet Neptune. So Amy went to Neptune. It was cold when she got off the spaceship, but then she saw it. It was the thing that blew up Earth. She ran and ran to get it. It had looked so close, but it was actually so far away. Finally she got to it. She felt so good when she lifted it up. She knew she was going to get revenge. She felt so good. Molly and Harry were on their way because NASA had found them and their mum and dad were at work. NASA had also sent out fleets and fleets of spaceships to surround the Earth and they told everyone to stay inside. But they didn't know that Amy was going to the moon to blast Earth with the thing. Eventually, Amy got to the moon and she put on this spacesuit that had been meant for the astronauts. It was very big, but it still worked, so she stepped outside. She was floating. It was amazing. She got that thing that blew up the Earth in the right position, facing the Earth. 3, 2, 1. Nothing happened. Why isn't it working? She then looked at its screen. It said recharging. This could take up to 1 hour. She was so annoyed. All her plans would be delayed. She went into the spaceship to rest and wait for it to recharge. She fell asleep, just as Molly and Harry landed on the moon to rest as well. They saw Amy's spaceship and the thing that could blow up Earth, so they decided to tamper with it whilst Amy was sleeping. They didn't want it to destroy Earth. They all surrounded the spaceship that Amy was in, so when she woke up, they could get her and take her home. Then, when Amy woke up, she caught her and took her home. They also took the thing that destroyed Earth to a different galaxy and never saw it again. They had saved the Earth. The end.
The Day All the Children Went Missing by Eva L. One day, in an ordinary town, there lived two children called Charles and Kate. They were just playing in their rooms when out of nowhere appeared a magical man. He said his name was Santa, and he needed them for his magical mission to bring his celebration called Christmas to Space Interianation. So without thinking, Kate and Charles went with Santa on his adventure to bring Christmas. As Charles and Kate climbed into Santa's magical sleigh, Santa pulled out two lists and he said, "One is a to-do list, and the other is a naughty and nice list." As Santa and the children fly over Space Interianation, Santa asked Charles to read over the to-do list. Number 1, kidnap gullible children. Number 2, go back to the North Pole. Number 3, let the world know about Christmas. Number 4, be famous. Number 5, turn all the children into elves. But as the list said, Charles and Kate were too gullible to notice what number 1 and 5 said. Santa, Kate and Charles arrived at the North Pole. Santa showed Kate and Charles around the toy factory. After the tour, Santa gave Kate and Charles uniforms to put on and get to work making presents to give to people for Christmas. 3 months go by and it was now the day before Christmas. Santa told them that they must load the sleigh with all of the presents because they were going to give them out tonight. Once they finished loading up the sleigh, Santa pushed through them and shot through the room, leaving Kate and Charles to clean up a broken wall. In the morning, Kate and Charles woke up to Santa standing over them. "I've got someone I want you to meet," said Santa. Then he untied his sack and 93 children climbed out. Then Charles remembered about his family and asked Santa when he would see them again. But no one ever heard or saw Charles ever again. The end.
It's Gravity's Game Now by Lara S. Once there was a 15-year-old Germillion, that's a mix between a chameleon and a human girl, who lived on Space Interianation. She lived with her dad in a squiggle mansion that was all jumbled up, hence the name. She already had a job and she was only 15. She was an interior designer and she earned billions a week. Her name was Splosh. One day, Splosh was doing her normal routine, brushing teeth, doing her hair, getting dressed, etc. When all of a sudden, gravity stopped. Everything and everyone started to float off into space. Except for Splosh, whose feet were stuck to the ground. All these years it had been a bad aspect of Splosh, and people called her Sticky Feet. But now, that was a superpower. She had to act fast to save the universe. She used a mega shovel to dig to the middle of the planet. She punched the core as hard as possible, and she felt a sudden pull. Gravity, it started working again. Everybody from all over the universe went to Earth to celebrate. The ruler of space awarded Splosh with a big, glittery rainbow cape.
The Invasion, Part 1 by Juan C.G. This story is about the most famous person on the planet Linen Sausage, Pablito. He was the president. He could not go a millimetre outside of his house without someone asking for a selfie. He was famous all over the planet, but the other planets that knew about him absolutely hated him. And that was why 2 storm bloopers decided to invade Linen Sausage. One night, Pablito was in the Presidential Overseas Office resting after a hard night of work, when there was a huge explosion in the dock. The boats that were in the dock had highly flammable objects on board, so it was hard to know what had caused the explosion. Cardis, Pablito said. Cardis was a robot that could travel through space and time. Cardis also followed orders from its owner. Tell the guards to find out what had happened. As the smoke cleared, the guards saw that it was a pie fighter. They did not notice the 2 mysterious figures pass through. Cardis was going through the mansion when the figures shot it. The guards in Pablito's office heard the Cardis come in. Come here, Pablito, shouted the guards. Yes, responded Pablito. Don't let them in, said Cardis. They will destroy the planet. And with that, the Cardis exploded. Ha ha ha, Pablito laughed. Should have settled for the expensive one. At that moment, the room was bombed and Pablito fainted. Who could cause all this trouble? No one but 2 storm bloopers. When Pablito woke up, all the guards were at war with the 2 storm bloopers. Now, you would probably think that 600 guards could easily win against two storm bloopers, but it wasn't what you'd think. The storm bloopers killed 400 guards. Pablito saw a gun and decided to kill the storm bloopers. Oh well, he said, I should kill them for my people. He grabbed the gun, and with 2 lasers, he killed the storm bloopers. The party lasted 3 weeks. But meanwhile, Captain Blooper announced an invasion of Linen Sausage. The only problem was that he had to stand there naming 75,000 storm bloopers. I could list the name of those storm bloopers, but I don't have the paper. To be continued.
Key and B. Bob's revenge-ish thing. Short story. Everyone died. So Bob left his planet. He started his YouTube channel and got 200 million subs in 1 billion years. So yes, he is alive. He came back and had a big fight and won. But he had no food and died. No one lived. The end. 1 million days later, King Yo-Yo found Bob's body and revived him. But he was kidnapped to create a virus to kill everyone without anyone knowing, called coronavirus. The end. Again. There was 1 spark of life left. Somehow, that spark was Bob. He had a lot of godlike powers, so he created a planet called Eco. He spawned humans and watched them build and become powerful. He saw Superman, Batman, and created and gave Aquaman the power he had. He then saw a reincarnation called Timmy, so he traumatized him, so he became the weirdo and lived for eternity. Is it the final end? Maybe. Maybe not. That doesn't answer my question.
The Last Fish Finger by Innes A. The fish finger was in the middle of the ocean doing an ad for Birdseye, but then they left one out of the pack. And he tried to turn the boat around, but he couldn't. Then he had an idea to jump into the sea and swim all the way to the Birdseye place. When something happened to the fish finger. He got so wet that his arms fell off. Not just one, but both of them. He just made it before his leg fell off. At the Birdseye place, they would not let him in. Because he had no arms, he was super sad. So he went back to where he lived in the Fishfinger town. And when he got home, he called the Fishfinger ambulance and said, "I need new arms." The Fishfinger ambulance took him to the Fishfinger hospital and gave him some new Fishfinger arms. They checked out his Fishfinger legs and the doctor said, "It's okay, just keep a bird's eye on it." So he went out of the Fishfinger hospital. The end.